Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and I don't mean to keep harping on this whole Anthem travesty situation, but more information has come to light and I wanted to inform you of the situation just as like a buyer beware that it might not be a good idea to buy Anthem right now for a multitude of reasons, but now after hearing this, I definitely steer far away from it until it's fixed. JT. Editor at Kotaku, Jason Schreier, stated on Twitter that he got an email this morning from a game developer who said that Anthem shut down their PS4 and now it won't turn on. Apparently, they're not alone. This is unreal. And this is true. There's an entire subreddit dedicated to Anthem talking about the issues, talking about how it's not only buggy and tons of downloads and tons of issues with it while they're playing and hiccups and problems and loading and times and all these issues with it. But now the game itself is completely shutting down PlayStation 4 systems while people are trying to play the game. There are a lot of theories as to why this is happening, but they don't really add up. Many people figure that it's because the old PlayStation 4s had really bad fan placement and this game really works your PlayStation hard, so maybe it's an overheating issue. But some of the people who are having their consoles shut down, there's not a problem with their PlayStation 4. It's one of the newer ones. They're playing on the PS4 Pros, and it's still shutting down the system. So that isn't necessarily the problem with it. It's a bug somewhere in the game, maybe a data or memory leak, where it's just adding up way too much memory and not putting it away, so the game is just on the fritz and not able to play through. Whatever the issue is, it's a big one because it's making a lot of people very weary of even playing the game until it's fixed. Which means if people aren't loading into this massively online game that's supposed to be multiplayer, it's going to lower the player base and it's going to hurt the overall success of the game in general. Now this situation isn't isolated specifically to just the PlayStation 4 or one of the versions of the PlayStation 4. There are people with Xbox One saying that they're having similar problems. People with PCs saying they're getting the blue screen of death while they're playing the game. It's shutting down a lot of gamers, but it seems to be centrally focused on the PlayStation 4 version, which kind of sucks because that was the version that people were saying was probably the best one to go with for the actual quality of the game. But now that it's crashing systems, and some of the systems, there have been 2 reports that I've seen so far saying that it's bricked the system, one of them coming from a game developer who has very little reason to lie about it. But even if those people are lying about brick systems, which I doubt, then there are issues with a ton of people having the game crash on them. And if you've ever had a game crash on your PlayStation 4 especially, it sucks because it's basically like pulling the plug out of it, and when you plug it back in, you have the safe mode, you have to wait through the loading, it checks the hard disk drive, there's a ton of waiting involved with it before you can actually load your system back up and play Anthem again, and then sit through those loading screens. So it's a very time-consuming process just to start the game back up. Not to mention the long-term issues you're going to have with your console if you're constantly crashing it, ripping the cord out of it and plugging it back in just to make sure the system starts back up. If it even does. This is a big problem. There's already been a lot of people reaching out to Sony for refunds on this, so if Anthem was looking bad last week, it's looking even worse right now, and as of right now, EA has not spoken about this. They haven't come up with a fix yet, but I'm sure they're working on something to fix this as soon as possible. It would be nice to fix this problem before fixing a multitude of other problems with the game. It goes back to my premise of this game should not have released in the condition that it's currently in. They should have delayed it, they should have waited, they should have said, guys, we really want to make this game a perfect experience for you, so we're gonna hold off on releasing it until it's perfect. You know, kinda like what Nintendo does with their games. But you gotta think Bethesda's over in the corner watching EA completely fall apart right now saying, whew, thank God Fallout 76 isn't still the talk of the town right now. Anthem is a complete dumpster fire. EA has made a ton of terrible decisions throughout the process of releasing this game, but now putting it out in the public, having systems crash, having systems break, having people want to get refunds, especially directly from Sony on the digital purchase of it. There's a lot of problems surrounding this, and I don't see it getting better anytime soon. It goes back to my original point of, do not buy this game until it's ready. And that could be 2 weeks from now, or more likely 8 to 10 months from now. It's gonna be a while, assuming that EA even continues supporting BioWare to continue to update and patch this game as it goes. And at that point, you're probably gonna be able to get the game for 10 or 15 bucks anyways. So again, patience is key. Don't rush into buying video games, especially games like this, because you know going into it there's going to be a ton of issues. And when it comes to the safety of your console, there's nothing more important. Don't play a game that's going to destroy your console. Wait until everything has been resolved. And I'm very interested to see what EA has to say about this, and if they're going to admit any wrongdoing, because that could open them up to some lawsuits if they're saying, yes, our game is crashing these systems and completely destroying them. It would be nice if they said something about acknowledging this issue and that they're working on a fix, because right now the subreddit covering Anthem is ablaze with people saying they're having a lot of problems trying to play this game, even on their brand new consoles. That's a problem for a game that costs full $60 USD MSRP for something that isn't even working properly. That's where I'm going to leave this episode. Be very interested to hear what you guys are facing, anyone who's played this game, even if you're enjoying your experience. Let's be honest to find out, have you had any game crashes where you had to completely restart your system and unplug it, plug it back in, and wait for the whole safe mode to go through on startup on the PlayStation 4s? Let's continue the conversation below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.